Good morning, everyone. It is 11 a.m., August 16th, 2022. We are live. Really excited to bring you another episode of Meet the Experts. This one falls in the category of Meet the Local Experts again, because we've kind of branched out. We've done some that are outside of Greensboro, and of course, we're still trying to build our local network and putting the spotlight on Greensboro area business owners, which we were lucky enough to be joined with one today, whose business is bigger than I initially thought when I was learning about our guest and what his product does and who it helps. So if you are not familiar with Meet the Experts at this point, it is a interview series that we do. Think video podcast, live stream video podcast, where we just interview other business owners about what they do. What are their products and services? Who do they help? What is the transformation they're doing in their customers' lives? And then we give it to them. So if you'd like to be a guest, stick around. I'll have a little call to action at the end after the episode and tell you how you can be a guest for free. But without further ado, I want to get our first guest up, or our only guest up, our guest for this time up. His name is Carl Darnley. He's with Peculiar Roots, and let me bring him on. Carl, how are you?
Hey, how you doing?
Good. I saw you move. It's funny. It's we talked about our natural instinct when we get on camera.
Yeah,
it's funny, but welcome to the show, man. It's great to see you again and let everybody hear about Peculiar Roots.
Likewise, I appreciate you having me as a guest.
Absolutely, man. So tell me now. I know I think you're newish to the Triad, but how long have you been in business in general, and then in Greensboro?
If you want to go back outside of Peculiar Roots, I've been in business about 7 years, but Peculiar Roots is a brand new baby and a passion project of mine. It's roughly 2 years old, but it started here in the Triad, actually.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Very, very cool. So now you told me about it, and I want to get into the product a little bit, but I found it really fascinating, and we had a talk about just, locks and we went into some cultural things on our pre-interview. But so to me, it's really interesting. How did you develop this passion project?
This passion project started about, I would say, 10 years or 12 years ago. Well, we had locks, and basically we couldn't find any products that cater to our locks. As far as when we go to the stores, locks is usually the afterthought. Is that underserved community of natural hair, because you hear about natural hair, but you don't hear about locks. Locks is always the afterthought. Like, hey, you could get curls, you could get all these other different styles, but locks is like, that's just the afterthought. So you buy it, you try to find different ranges of products to basically cater to your locks. You'll probably look at different brands. One brand, something may work with this brand, something else may work with this brand, and you try to use those brands. So what we try to do is just bring everything under one roof and give you basically a product that caters directly to locks. We can get everything from shampoo to conditioner, whatever it is, catering specifically to locks first. So we cater to the lock community first. Yes.
That's, I mean, we talk about, there's a saying, right? We talk about it all the time. We say the riches are in the niches, right? Like you really have this niche product for a niche community.
Yes.
And then, some people, we also have the debate of whether it's niche or niche, but the riches in the niches doesn't sound right. So we have to say the riches in the niches, right?
Yes. Yes. And basically I could say to you, I'm happy that we did it, because we found a very good white space that we didn't realize how really underserved the community was. So by us launching the products and catering to that community, it took off. So that I was very excited to see that it actually took off. It wasn't just something sometimes you have an idea, you think it's just only you, or you have it in your head, but you see that when you see the community engagement, you see people like, yes, thank you, finally somebody actually made something for us. It's for us first. So that was a good feedback we got from a lot of people.
Yeah, like somebody gets me, right?
Yes.
Like somebody understands. It's not just me.
Yes.
I'm not, all right,
yes.
That is awesome. That's when you know you have a viable product, right? And a viable
yes.
idea.
Yep. And we actually cultivated a Facebook community that grew so fast. So that's what actually helped us also, where people are in the community, and they share ideas and give feedback and everything like that.
Well, that's fantastic. What do you think, since launching, what is your favorite part of your work?
My favorite part of my work and most of my business, I'm a creative, so I love to create products. I like to come up with ideas. I like to solve problems. That's just me. I like to see something. I'm like, hey, how can we do that better? Or come up with something crazy. I like coming crazy ideas. So that's my favorite part of the business. I'm an acting CEO, but I'm also the creative director also.
Very cool. So when you're talking about creating a product though, like and a hair care product, no less, right? Specific for locks,
Mhm.
but had you I mean, you obviously then you formulated some type of product, right? So have you been in hair care prior to this? I mean, how would
I'm not in the hair care part of this. I must say it. I'm a nerd by nature. I love science. I love that aspect of business as far as R&D. So I have to go in, look at the things that work for me, and people of my culture and the different oils and stuff like that, and basically sit down and combine and formulate. Basically, I did a lot of Google research and a lot of things, seeing what kind of ingredients will match good together and formulate them and see how they will work. And believe it or not, we are beta testers, so we test everything in ourselves before we put it out there. So we make sure that it actually works before we put it out. So my family do test everything on themselves. Yeah.
That's incredible. Well, that kind of leads me to the next question. So obviously, if your family are testers, they're on your team. But tell me about your team. You have other people working with you?
Yeah, so I have people that work in customer service. I have people that pack and ship, and I have of course my other partner, which is my wife. We started the brand together, and I have also two people who design my packaging for me. So yeah, I have a team about around from 10 people, about 10 people, depending
That's
on what they're
awesome.
doing. Yeah.
I,
But
I feel like.
go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, but no. So we most of the team work virtually, but some also work, hands on in the business as far as yeah. For example, the people who pack and ship.
Right, and that's in Atlanta, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So when you I think it's really cool that you have like that distributed team. One of the things that I learned when I was just looking up the company, the website, and just
Mhm.
learning about Peculiar Roots. So you guys have a pretty good size operation. Did I read that or see that you're in Walmart's, some Walmarts?
Yeah. So initially, it'd be crazy to say this, but initially when we first started the brand, from my previous brand, I knew how retail works, so we weren't looking to go into retail because we wanted to go direct to consumer.
Right.
But I guess the product it did so well. One of our first buyers was actually Sally's Beauty. They approached us, and we got into Sally's Beauty first, and then from Sally's Beauty we got Walmart, and we're currently now we're operating in about 450 Walmart. Hoping to get
Wow.
the 4,700, hopefully. But yes, so that's the test trial that we got, and we've gotten very good response so far. So we launched. We learned we was going to go into Walmart in January, and we actually launched in July. So we actually just went in there. And you could actually go.
Congratulations.
You could actually go to the Greensboro location and see the product there.
Oh, that's awesome. That's
Yes,
awesome.
yeah.
Congratulations, man. That's huge. And having
Thank you.
Sally's come to you, that's when you're like, all right, we're on to something now. Because Sally's is not a slouch. I mean, it's a big brand name. So or
Absolutely.
retail chain. So all right. So let's go a little deeper into the product. So what are a few common types of issues that you help with, like with that your product helps with?
So, for example, initially when I explained to you about products being an afterthought for locks, and you try different products. So one of the main key ingredients and the reason our products are so successful, because when we formulate the products, locks doesn't need a lot of heavy products, so it needs light products. So if the products are too heavy, that's where you get the build up in your hair, and you get the length and all that stuff. So you have to formulate the product where it's light. So when you're using an oil or using a shampoo, it's not too heavy where it's stuck into follicles of the hair. And it's stuff because lots is actually is a matted hair. It's matted together. So think about it like a sponge or a Brillo pad, and you got some debris stuck in there. You got to get it out. So basically you have to make the product so when you're using the products in your hair, it's able to wash out very freely. So that's one of the reasons our products are so successful, because we made it build up free.
I love that. So many times growing up, people always said, "Oh, you can't wash your locks, you can't wash your hair," and I'm like,
That's a myth.
really? Why would people do that? And wouldn't they be like Pigpen from Charlie Brown with like bugs? Like that
No.
just doesn't sound right. You got to keep your hair clean. So the
So,
fact that
so
we talk about that.
I'll be the first to bust that myth. That's a myth. Locks is actually more maintenance than having any other type of hair. So it's a lot of maintenance going through. So believe it or not, like I have to wash a lot. I have to twist a lot, and go through a lot of maintenance to keep it fresh and clean. It's not something you just set it and forget it. And I think also too, what it comes down to is an individual thing too, because if somebody doesn't bathe on a day-to-day basis, that's on them individually. You can't say, hey, So it's the same thing with your hair. If you don't wash your hair on an individual basis, I think that's pertaining to the person. But majority of people, they have to maintain the locks. If you don't maintain it, it's not kept fresh, or it's not kept in a good state. You have to maintain it.
Yeah, and that that I'm so glad you busted that myth, because growing up, that was a big misconception, and and of course, I I didn't know any different, because I didn't have it. So I love what you're doing. I love the product. I love that you're here in Greensboro. And prior to the episode, we realized that we're pretty much neighbors. You live right up the road from me. I had no idea.
Yes.
Well, I have a ticker at the bottom of the screen, which is always it's backwards on my end. But for locks and natural hair, we've got some good products with Peculiar Roots. Carl and his wife lead the team, and if you want to learn more about them, you can go to www.peculiarroots.com. You can also check out here Sally's Beauty, Walmart, and more. So, Carl, is there any other anything else that ways you would want to get the word out about your company, or just have people get in touch with you privately? Maybe somebody watches this and they're like, hey, I wonder if I could get them in my store or something. How should people reach out to you?
Also, definitely. So people can reach out to us on our website. That's info@peculiarroots.com. And if you go on the website, you could also call the number. You can reach out to me at carl@peculiarroots.com if you want to get in touch with me privately. So that's my email at the company. And if anybody wants to reach out to us or anything like that, feel free, because we're always open to new people reaching out. We're always open to new partnerships and new deals. So we are very open to these things. So that'll be awesome if you guys reach out. If you think our product is a good fit, we're here.
I love it. So I just put in all of our platforms where we're streaming, I put the info@peculiarroots.com, and now I'm putting carl@peculiarroots.com as well in the comments.
Yes.
If we're wrapping up, I told you it's going to go quick, 15-20 minutes.
Yes, I'm surprised. It's really quick. I'm just getting warmed up.
Well, I love it. I'd say we could talk all day. All right, so here, let me throw you on the hot seat real quick about something other than Peculiar Roots for a minute. Then,
okay,
you're new to the Greensboro area, right?
Yes.
So,
yes.
What are some of your favorite things that you've discovered so far?
So I'm new to Greensboro. One of the favorite things I discovered so far, as far as personally or just in general.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, absolutely.
Like I really find that because I'm originally from Brooklyn, but originally from South America, Guyana. But I'm loving nature. I love the fact that it's so quiet, so peaceful, coming from the big city, and just find out that being in the big city is overrated for certain things, and that's one of the things I love here. I'm relaxing, I'm sleeping better, and I just love the Greensboro area, because it gives you the ability to go into being into the quiet, and you got the city also if you need that fast paced life still.
Absolutely. No, look, growing up in northern New Jersey before moving to North Carolina 20 years ago, we loved going into the city. I had friends that moved to Brooklyn when they were in their 20s, and we'd go visit. And, now I want nothing to do with it except just to visit once in a while. Like when I visit, it's like I'm ready to come back home after a couple of days. It's nice to go, see the sights and walk around and get some good food and just tool around a little bit, but it's always nice to come home. I do want to say
absolutely. That's what happened to me. That's what happened to me 4 months ago when I went back to Brooklyn. I was like, I want to get out of there.
It happens. It happens. Well, right now we have probably our highest viewership of the episode right now. So maybe getting personal, asking a fun thing about Greensboro with our guests would be great. I do want to say that one of my colleagues, he's an attorney here, John Parisi. He commented, "I enjoyed learning about your business. Congrats on your success." So,
thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Jonathan is he's a past guest. He does estate-based planning, like wills and trusts and things like that. So, but yeah, he's great. He's in a networking group here in town. So I wanted to pop that up on the screen. But I'll tell you what.
Send me a LinkedIn connection. We connect. I just started my LinkedIn, so I'm send me a connection. We never know what I might need down the line. So it's always good to connect.
I'll do it. Yeah, networking is good. I have a couple of opportunities I want to follow up with you on here in Greensboro as far as networking and that I think might be helpful. So I would definitely will.
That's awesome. I'm open to it.
Awesome. Well, Carl, we're out of time, and I loved having you as a guest. I love learning about you. I can see us becoming good buddies and working together. But thanks for coming on, man.
Thank you for having me, man. It was awesome. I appreciate it.
Very cool. Well, I will talk to you soon. Stick around because when I wrap up the episode, I'll chat with you for another minute.
Okay, no problem. Appreciate it.
That was so much fun. Talking to Carl. I've had a couple of conversations with him now. After that one, we do a pre-interview for Meet the Experts, and I knew that he was going to be a fun guest because it's such a unique product. And like I said, like we talked about, is that he found a niche. He loves geeking out over product creation, and then just went and served it, and boom, he was onto something big, and it's been taken off for him and his wife and his team. So super excited. So glad that Carl came on today. Listen, Meet the Experts is fun. It's a passion project of mine. Peculiar Roots is a passion project of Carl's. Meet the Experts is a passion project of mine. And I love networking and getting to know other Greensboro or Triad area business owners. I love getting to know other business owners and people who want to network and get their name out there, right? And we always talk to people, I just want to get my name out there, right? And we're like, well, where is out there, right? And a lot of times what they mean is on the web, on social media, like just in the community. So if you want to be a future guest on Meet the Experts, what I want you to do is on that ticker at the bottom, which always trips me up here. Please visit guests.advertisinggreensboro.com. We're also launching guests.howto.agency, but for now, guests.advertisinggreensboro.com is where to go. It costs you nothing to be a guest. We'd love to have you on. Would love to grow your network. The only thing we try to ask is, hey, share the episode when you're done, right? So if you want to be a guest, like I said, contact me soon. Our next episode, I believe, is 2 weeks from today. I'm going to double check on that. It might be 3 weeks from today, unless one pops up sooner, which we'll let you know on Facebook or any of our other socials. But until next time, everybody, have a great day. And thanks for tuning in to Meet the Experts.